Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by RINOs now attempting to shift back to a conservative talking point. Don't be fooled. Romney, McConnell, they got to go. Well, this is the big weekend of CPAC, and President Trump making a grand reappearance where he will declare himself the leader of the Republican Party, which he absolutely is. Mike Pence not attending. Apparently, there's still some bad blood. Who cares? Mike Pence is the enemy within. We need to purge our party from the RINOs and the globalists and the New World Order individuals that follow and were created in the Bush crime family dynasty mold. We need to be done with those people, done forever. Now, somebody who sees the writing on the wall happens to be Witness Protection Romney, who, after voting to impeach the president and condemning his acts of insurrection, is now saying that, well, yeah, if Donald Trump wants the nomination, he's going to get it. Now, is he lamenting that, or is he trying to now make the shift back? Especially after Laura Ingraham has threatened to run against him for his Senate seat. Laura would absolutely decimate him. But then, Mitch McConnell, the turtle, he sticks his head out of his hump and declares that he would absolutely support Donald Trump as the GOP nominee in 2024.
There'll be a lot of talk this weekend about 2024 and whether the former president is going to get in that mix. Here's what Senator Romney said about that if he does.
Will President Trump continue to play a role in my party? I'm sure he will. He has by far the largest voice and a big impact in my party. I don't know about his family members, whether they intend to do that, but I expect he will continue playing a role. I don't know if he'll run in 2024 or not, but if he does, I'm pretty sure he will win the nomination.
Do you agree with that?
Well, there's a lot to happen between now and 24. I've got at least 4 members that I think are planning on running for president, plus some governors and others. There's no incumbent. Should be a wide open race and fun for you all to cover.
If the president was the party's nominee, would you support him?
The nominee of the party? Absolutely.
This is the same guy who stood in the well of the Senate. He was the first prominent Republican to call Joe Biden president-elect and extend to him the official welcome, welcome, welcome. We haven't forgotten that, Mitch. We haven't forgotten that you stood in the well of the Senate and you condemned Donald Trump and his supporters for an act of insurrection on January the 6th, which we know that Nancy Botox Pelosi handpicked hitman to oversee the investigation, General Honoree, who declared it an inside job, insinuating that it was inside Trump people. No. It was inside left. We're going to find out Nancy Pelosi, even if she hadn't been fully tipped off that something like this was coming, she certainly has enough political instinct to know you put 1 million people in D.C., something bad could happen. The president makes 10,000 troops available, and she orders stand-downs and even has the capital city police back off. I have talked to dozens of people who were there, and they said the police literally welcomed them in everywhere, herding them into places where the potential for problems could break out. Really? But then Mitch McConnell, in that same interview, said, you know, a lot can happen between now and 2024, and we got to focus on 2022, fully reclaiming the Senate and the House. And then he said this, and he was talking about the last election, the election of 2020 in November. We elected 50 U.S. senators. No, you didn't. Donald Trump got 50 U.S. senators elected as Republicans. We flipped 2 state legislative bodies and gained 1 governor. The Democrats didn't do any of that. You didn't do any of that, Mitch. Your marketing didn't do any of that. Your appeal didn't do any of that. Donald J. Trump did that. And again, we have Camilla thinks she's a hottie Harris. Last Friday, she and her husband returning to her home in Brentwood, California. The media crew was there, and there were two supporters with their Biden-Harris sign and their one little dinky American flag. What happened to the 80 million people that supposedly voted for this ticket? Donald Trump goes to play golf, and 5,000 people line the streets to hope to get a glimpse of him through the tinted glass of his limo. But he lost. He lost. And we even have conservative media guys like the so-called conservative Glenn Beck saying that, well, there were certainly election shenanigans, but we really don't know that there was enough to have overturned the election. See, we're going to now make that the new narrative. Even among Republicans and quasi-conservatives, we will acknowledge now, yeah, there were some real irregularities. We need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But there wasn't enough to overturn the election. We'll never know because no real investigation ever got done, and thousands of witnesses and all of their signed affidavits have just gone bye, 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 bye. The Democrats used a created pandemic to tank the economy. It's the one and only time Rush Limbaugh and I had a serious disagreement with one another. I had been saying, as early as 2019, in the summer of 2019, the way the Democrats are going to take down Donald Trump is to kill the economy. And Rush Limbaugh took to the airwaves to say that it was an absolutely ludicrous conspiratorial idea that the Democrats had any ability to stop the juggernaut of this economy. And even when the pandemic first hit and the first lockdowns were instituted, Rush talked about we're going to have a V recovery and it's going to be great. We're going to be stronger than ever. And then he finally had to come on and concede on the air, hey, the Democrats have used the pandemic to kill the economy. Duh. Hey, I didn't think they could do that. And Rush, I love you. God rest your soul. But you were so wrong on that. And I was so right. And even though you never got around to giving me apology accepted. So they used a pandemic to tank the economy, and they also used the pandemic to hide the fact that they were rolling out to us a mentally defective, dementia-ridden, drooling old man as their candidate. The pandemic was a godsend to them because it was killing the economy. They could constantly attack Trump that he wasn't doing enough to stop it. They knew that people were upset over losing jobs and scared and tired of being masked and quarantined and restricted, and they could just keep blaming all of that on Trump. And then thirdly, they knew they could not roll Joe Biden out there for a regular campaign. He doesn't have the physical stamina or the mental acuity to actually be able to do a regular campaign. He can't hold 4 or 5 big rallies a day and speak off the cuff and not get into all kinds of trouble and basically go off on a dementia-laden, intelligible rant. And it was able to mask the fact that we care, we're practicing social distancing with the 6 people that did show up to his events when he would occasionally come out of the bat cave. The Democrats knew full well what they were unleashing on us. Case in point, this week, a little news article, it got a little buzz, but not the way you think, that the Democrats sat down with Joe Biden and they want him to consider that the President of the United States, i.e. him, is not the sole keeper of the nuclear codes and alone by himself can make the decision to launch a nuclear strike, that needs to be delegated out. Now, immediately, conservative media misread it and said, aha, they're trying to cripple the next incoming Republican. If this was closer to an election, I would say that. But this is 1 month into Biden, and you do understand that the Biden term is quickly coming to an end. You get that, right? He's about done. He's been a puppet. You can almost see the string attached to his hand that he signs all those executive orders with. We even got him on a hot mic saying, "What am I signing?" All I could think of was a classic episode of MASH when Radar used to bring Colonel Blake things to sign, and Blake would say, "What am I signing?" And we just lie to him and tell him it was a requisition for, Coca-Cola when, it was something completely else. And that's what Biden's. He's just signing things, because he's got to have his nap, and he takes snow days. So we have this mental defective who is unleashed on us. And again, this is about curtailing him. He is about used up his usefulness because they know they cannot contain the fact that he is absolutely mentally addled any longer. So, they don't want him to make major decisions. And soon,
Nancy Botox Pelosi would try to adjust your false teeth so they don't fall out. Because after all, she can afford a $12,000 refrigerator and $25 a pint private label chocolate ice cream. But apparently, she can't get to a dentist that makes dentures that actually fit her.
So she will come out in one of her color-coordinated masks to go with her outfit. 25th Amendment, Joe Biden. They can't do it quite yet because his full cabinet isn't assembled yet. So, they got to get the boy-girl wannabe, can't figure out what he is today, doctor on there, and all these other nutcase loon jobs. They got to get them all in that cabinet so that they can all then agree on the 25th Amendment to bounce Biden out, so that we can then bring the former street corner hustler, Kamala thinks she's a hottie Harris, who smoked dope listening to Snoop Dogg, even though Snoop Dogg hadn't even recorded an album at the time. She claims to have been listening to him as she was getting toked up in a dorm room. Talk about pandering. Yeah. This is about bye-bye Biden. If I was Biden, I'd start looking around and say, "Hey, they're circling the wagons against me." Duh. And some of you voted for this. Thank you. It's just the gift that won't stop giving. Look what's been unleashed on us. Wow. And you thought Donald Trump was the authoritarian? I don't remember him restricting anybody's speech. I remember him deplatforming anybody. I remember America was free. And you could argue, and if you didn't like what somebody had to say, don't listen. Turn it off. Turn the channel. Turn the dial. All that's been taken away from us, and we're now being programmed. But I digress, because I've already covered that in another monologue. McConnell, yeah, thanks for now stating the obvious. Well, Donald Trump becomes our nominee, I'll support him. Yeah, you really supported him the 4 years he was there. You and Paul Ryan right out the gate set the stage for Russia collusion to run rampant over the first 3 years of his administration. Way to go. You got to go. Liz Cheney, daughter of the war criminal Dick Cheney, got to go. Romney got to go. All you RINOs, gone. Take back the Republicans as the standard of real conservatism. And let's put America first. Let's put America back to work. And let's make America great again.